What's going on, YouTube? This is Ricky J. Welcome to the EA Sports UFC 5 game modes video. I'm going to give you guys my honest take on what we're going to see right here. I cannot wait. Shoutouts to Balian. Here we go.
Guys, I'm Balian and welcome to the UFC 5 Game Modes Deep Dive. I'm super excited to be able to show you some more of the changes UFC 5 is going to bring and all of the new game modes that you are going to be able to check out.
We're going to take a look at new features like UFC Fight Week, Online Career Mode, changes to Fight Now, and the new rule sets for some of your favorite modes. As well as new features you'll discover in Career Mode and tons of awesome stuff that's going to change the way you play UFC 5. Let's start with Fight Week. UFC 5 is truly an extension of the UFC fan experience, and there's no better example than with the Fight Week gameplay mode. It's a next level event-driven live service update. In the build-up to the biggest UFC events, you'll be able to take part in a series of all new challenges and features that really connect you to the blockbuster UFC cards and the world of MMA in a way that's never been done before. Let's take a look at everything involved. Going into Fight Week, you will be presented with several Fight Week challenges. These challenges give you different objectives to complete throughout the week and will give you the opportunity to unlock rewards inspired by those events, including new created fighter vanity items, player profile, customization assets, emotes, and even UFC.
See, this wouldn't be a big deal for me in UFC 4, but now with the online career mode, it would be nice to have new apparel to add to your creative fighters.
Athlete alter egos. There's also a section now to make fight picks before real-world UFC events.
See, they used to have this, I think, in UFC 2 and 3, if I'm not mistaken. So this is not new. It's good that they brought this back. Now, the cool thing is, if you're really into UFC events, it's so nice to have this to actually make content with. You know what I mean? Because you could easily talk about the fights, make the predictions, and then have people come back and see if you were correct or not. But for me, this is not a new feature, but it's nice that it's back in the game.
So you can make predictions for the main card of every pay-per-view. You'll automatically then be seeded into fight pick leaderboards after making those choices, and after the event is over, depending on how many of them you got right, the top ranking players will earn in-game UFC coins, which could be used to buy more assets for your...
See, it's cool that they have a leaderboard, and the crazy thing is you're going to have some people that are just going to be, I wouldn't say lucky, but just so well-versed when it comes to matchups. And then you'll look at these people that are like top 5 on the leaderboards and be like, wow, this person really knows MMA.
Profile and your UFC athletes. You'll also be presented with Fight Week contracts, which will give you a daily fight offer where you can take on AI opponents under preset gameplay settings. Completing these contracts can earn you in-game currency, and the difficulty of these contracts increases over the course of the week. Your total wins, losses, and finishes are tracked in the contracts tab, and it's another chance to earn yourself some in-game rewards. This year, it's all about bringing the real world of MMA and the virtual octagon closer together into one awesome fan experience.
With UFC Fight Week, you're going to be connected to all of the real UFC events. You can make predictions, compete with your friends, and earn in-game rewards just for watching and enjoying the sport and UFC 5.
So the in-game rewards, sorry to keep on pausing, but that's how the video is going to go. The in-game rewards now have such an important kind of factor in your gameplay experience because you're going to need those rewards to add to your online fighters for online career mode, even offline career mode, but especially online career. You need those points to just kind of hang with those people that are going to be putting so much money and points into their online fighter. I'm not really a big fan when it comes to like in-game currency, but the cool thing is if you're really good at this game, you're going to be able to compete against those people that put so much money into their creative fighter. But the sad thing is that most cases you'll probably be at a disadvantage, but we'll just wait and see.
Another new game mode this year is Online Career Mode with your own created fighters. It includes skill-based matchmaking, division progression, and title chases across 4 different divisions.
So you see how you have to upgrade based on these evolution points. See the evolution points up here? You got to upgrade your attributes. I love this, by the way. This is something that was missing in UFC 4, and for you people that have been following me, that's why I stopped making videos. Because it was just ranked. Like, there was nothing else for me to do. I got so frustrated that's why I stopped playing the game. Now that they've added online career, it's something refreshing that I'm going to be diving into. So, you know, I know people criticize the game, and I've criticized the game where it's warranted, but this mode here, you gotta applaud them for putting this in there. You know, it's so nice, because then it's gonna make you want to go back and try to upgrade your guy or girl and continue to play it. With ranked, I'm not a person that's like a pro player. It gets stale after like 3 fights, you know? But this is so refreshing.
Players are no longer used in rank mode like in UFC 4. Instead, UFC 5 has a separate game mode for competing with.
See
There
that?
are 4 different divisions to choose from.
Sorry, I'll stop pausing it, but you see that? You can't use created fighters on ranked. And that is awesome, because nothing was worse when I was using my favorite MMA fighters and I was facing a bear, a zombie, or a skeleton.
With your created fighters, and there's plenty of character customization and vanity items to show off while you make your way to the online titles. You fight in online career matches, you earn evolution points, which can then be used to improve your created fighters' attributes, moves, and perks. And once you reach the level cap for your athlete, you can prestige, which will reset your evolution to the starting point, but increase the level cap and unlock access to additional moves and perks. There's also...
So you see that? You can go back. I like how there's a cap. I don't want to have like just like all 5-star fighters in this mode. That's my fear, you know? Or if you're a 2-star fighter, this is my thing. If you're a 2-star fighter, you should only be facing guys that are 2 to 3-star. If you're a 4-star fighter, you should only be facing guys that are 4 to 5-star, or girls. You know what I mean? It shouldn't be where if you're a 2-star fighter facing a 5-star fighter. I hope they understand the matchmaking. They need to make it so the 2 players are pretty much even.
XP boosts that you can activate to increase your earning potential, but this year Online Career is its own entire gameplay mode for you to get stuck into. So jump into Online Career mode, fully customize your perfect fighter's stats and perks,
and take it online to challenge other players. I'm very excited for this feature to be back, and I personally cannot wait.
Whatever game mode you decide to compete in UFC 5, you will level up your UFC punch card. You can kind of consider it a bite-sized battle pass. Just play the game any way you want and earn your way through a set of predetermined rewards, including in-game currency, player profile customizations, vanity items, as well as your punch card. There's always something to be working towards as well with profile challenges. They're back and they will reward you with XP that helps you level up your punch card. There's also alter egos. These are a new way to unlock different versions of your favorite UFC athletes with different playstyles, looks, and
let's hope they have alter egos for George Rush St. Pierre. I'm not impressed by your performance.
For example, Origins Volkanovski has slightly different perks and even some different stat changes, so you can play a different version of your favorite fighter. So you'll have challenges to complete across every game mode, so no matter how you decide to play UFC 5, you'll always be unlocking something cool.
If you know anything about me and my content, you'll know that I absolutely love career mode in UFC games. And with UFC 5, we're getting some features to improve the overall experience, make things more enjoyable, and also increase the difficulty and immersion of becoming a UFC athlete.
All right, so this is now the career mode offline.
I can't just cover up. Makes it hard to see shots coming in too.
Everyone's favorite trainer, Coach Davis, is back to guide you through a whole new UFC career with new cinematics, locations, and a refined focus on onboarding. But don't listen to me. Here's producer Rahman Bassi to tell you more.
On UFC 4, we have a lot of data coming in, so we know how our users are playing career mode. We know how many players are playing career mode. It's a very popular mode on UFC 4. A lot of people play career mode multiple times. And one of the pain points that we saw was training camp, obviously. It takes a long time. Training camp in real life, it's not fun. What we've allowed you to do in UFC 5 is, one, you can simulate your entire training camp and get to peak fitness. So once you've completed a challenge pack in sparring, you can then simulate to that grade over and over again if you get that same challenge pack again. There's a lot of simulation everywhere across career mode just to get you to the fight faster.
The thing is with career mode, I don't mind simulating the training camp, but I want to see more cutscenes that enhance the immersion of the mode. I want to see interactions with our, with your trainers, interactions with Dana White. I want to hopefully see some drama, because in a UFC career, it's peaks and valleys, and hopefully the career mode is not so stale where you train, fight. I want to see things that happen, injuries, things that could happen with your personal life, things like that, just to make it feel different than what we've seen in the past.
We've done a lot with our AI tuning this year in career mode specifically. Of course, sparring is hard, right? We do like there to be a little bit of a danger to sparring. There's always a chance of getting knocked out getting hurt. There's always a chance of now getting cut as well in career mode, in sparring. The wrinkle we've added to legendary career mode is that it's going to be...
Wait, could I just say this? So if you get cut in sparring, is that cut going to be on display in the fight? And then you got to be careful to not let that cut open up.
Simulation game style only. So that means there is no HUD, but also at the same time, there's going to be increased damage and increased stamina drain in our legendary career mode this year. It's going to be the most difficult and most challenging legendary career mode that we've had so far.
Wow.
If you just want to jump
hard.
straight into a fight, Fight Now is back, but this time around it offers a whole new suite of authentic MMA UFC
Let me just say this. I like how they're increasing the difficulty mode on career. That's going to make people want to continue to go back. I want to just say this. Fight Night Champion. The story mode, the fight against Isaac Frost was so hard. People just love to go back to that just because it was so difficult. And the feeling of beating Isaac Frost is like no other. And in this, if you could win on Legendary, be the UFC champ, multi-weight class champion, it's going to feel good, man. Let's get back to the modes here. Look at this, unranked.
match types, from the fan favorites including Kumite and Backyard to main event, championship and main card fights. But things are a little different this time around. Main card fights are 3 rounds, main event fights are 5 rounds, and so are the championship fights, but they are of course for world titles. But whether you decide to fight online or off, if you go to the Backyard, you'll have to fight 5 3-minute rounds.
See, I was hoping they would eliminate the Backyard in Kumite, but they are bringing it back. In my honest opinion, I don't know, man. They should do more with the Backyard. So I would have a mode, okay, which is like the Backyard Champion. So I know they have a different kind of judging system. They should have an online mode called like the Backyard and have a guy or girl that's just interested in this type of fighting format fight on an online leaderboard. You know what I mean? You got to make more of these modes, in my opinion.
This time around, and the judges will only score the fight based on damage.
Nice.
It's going to be a 5-round fight, and the rounds will be 3 minutes. So it's going to be very quick, fast rounds that you're going to have. We've changed the judges in the Backyard. So the judges don't necessarily care about the octagon control. All they care about is how much damage you've landed in this fight. So it's a very aggressive mode, and when you play online, you won't be necessarily playing the same way you would. You're going to be playing a little bit of a different gameplay meta when you do go into the Backyard in UFC 5. Whenever you are fighting in the Kumite, it will be a single round which lasts 25 minutes. With our new...
So the thing is, in UFC 4, you could set the online fight to Vale Tudo, which will make it one gigantic round. So this isn't new, but I guess this is the standard now in Kumite. But like I said, if only they were thinking about adding this to an online mode which has a leaderboard, you know? I don't know if there's an unranked Kumite leaderboard or Backyard, but it would be so cool if they had an actual mode. Maybe they could add that as an update in this game. But Vale Tudo, I used to do this in UFC 4, where you just set it to one gigantic round.
Damage system and the way that you do not want to get hit in UFC 5. The Kumite is such a drastic change from what it was on UFC 4. It's a lot more slower paced. There's no in-between rounds to recover your damage anymore. So when you do get hit, that damage is gone.
If you do manage to last the whole 25 minutes, it will go to a draw. Honestly, it's pretty awesome to have some new...
So if it goes the whole 25 minutes, it goes to a draw. Kind of reminds me of the old school UFC days for all you youngins out there. Back in the day, like UFC had no rounds. So it was whoever got finished. So if this doesn't get finished, it's a draw. I like that. See, now that's cool, man. But like I said, they got to add more to this mode, man. Don't just keep it on unranked. Make it into a online mode, you know, where you want to go back. I know I'm repeating myself.
Game rules to fight under, and whatever your preference, you're able to play online or off. And if you want to customize your game even further, there are now different play styles to choose from as well.
So what we've added are multiple game styles. There's the stand and bang game style, which will turn off all grappling. There's the simulation game style, which will be as real as it gets. So essentially turning off the HUDs, increasing damage, increasing stamina drain, making it as simulation as we can possibly get UFC 5. What knockout game style does is it turns off health recovery. So when you do get hit, that health is gone, and when it gets to 0, there will be a knockout. You'll be able to apply that to Fight Now, you can apply that to career mode, you can search for online matches in simulation game styles as well. Along with those 5 categories of game styles that we have, we allow you to make your custom game styles as well. So you'll be able to turn off doctor stoppages, you'll be able to turn down the damage, you can apply that to any
It's good that they have these options, but these modes, we've seen these modes before.
mode as well, and play UFC 5 the way you want to play.
From the new awesome simulation style that uses real-time rounds and increased damage and stamina drain to emulate an authentic fight experience, to knockout that turns off health regeneration and recovery and applies unlimited stamina and combinations, or stand and bang, which lets you just fight exclusively on the feet.
Honestly, I absolutely love that there are now all these new ways that you're going to be able to compete in.
Sorry to keep on cutting off Balian here, but my whole take with everything that we've seen, I'm impressed with a bunch of things that we've seen, right? But with all of these features that we have in unranked, why not put it into a actual ranked mode? Because, you know, there's some people that just love doing stand and bang. And I know some people would say, just play a boxing game. People enjoy UFC, EA UFC. Have a actual leaderboard for stand and bang, like a ranked stand and bang mode, a ranked kumite mode, and a ranked backyard mode. I'm hoping that they will add to that, just so, you know, do you really want to go back and do those modes if it's not something that you're building on, if it's a leaderboard or whatnot? I wish that they could do that. Let me know if you agree with that.
Inside the cage in UFC 5. Whether you want to have a fight inside the UFC with the unified rules of MMA or something completely different with these new game modes and custom rule sets. All these new modes are also going to really change the way you're going to have to play and compete inside the cage. And the fact you can fight online and master whatever game mode you enjoy the most really lets you play UFC 5 however you want.
My most favorite feature this year is our fighter select. And one of the most special things about booting up any fighter game is looking at our fighter select and looking at the fidelity of our fighters, how our Frostbite engine has considerably improved our fighter select this year.
And of course, ranked online mode is back for the more competitive players. Pick your favorite UFC athlete, go head to head with other players online and compete for spots in global and friends ranked leaderboards.
I gotta see something here. Hold on. So this is the ranked mode that they're talking about. So look at this. Look at this. So they still have the weight classes that you have to compete in, but it's 3. Look, lightweight, strawweight, and heavyweight. But then up next is only 2 weight classes. See that? I was hoping that they would get rid of this. You know, for somebody that has kids and works, when I want to go on ranked, I want to play in the weight class that I want to play in. I don't want to be forced to play in these weight classes that are listed, you know? I feel like that's I don't know, it's not a good thing to have. Just let somebody play in a weight class that they enjoy. Like, why are we forced to go into these weight classes and then wait for the top of the hour for it to change? I don't like that. Let me know if you agree with that.
Online mode is back for the more competitive players. Pick your favorite UFC athlete, go head to head with other players online and compete for spots in global and friends ranked leaderboards. Wins and losses are added up and rank you in a division as you try and make your way up to compete against the best players in the world and compete for online world titles. Ranked is once again separated into 20 divisions and there are challenges to complete for reaching the top as well as collecting rubies with your title defenses. UFC 5 is the next step in mixed martial arts gaming, and with it comes changes to the visuals and game mechanics as well as a whole host of all these new game modes for you to step into the virtual octagon and experience the UFC like you've never done before. Want to have a 25-minute kumite fight where your health does not recover the whole time? You can do it. UFC 5 is really raising the bar this year and it promises to be the best MMA game yet.
Alright guys, thank you so much for joining me today. There's tons of new ways to play UFC 5, changes to some of the existing modes, and loads of new awesome ones to get stuck into as well. If you want to know more, go check out some of the other deep dives on presentation and gameplay. But I've been Balian, and I'll see you in the octagon.
Oh, there you have it, people. So those are the new game modes. I was impressed with some modes we've seen before. Not too impressed with the modes that are returning, especially ranked where you have to be forced into a weight class. But I'm excited about the online career. And you know what? I'm going to be going into the offline career as well. Hopefully you guys can pop by this channel and enjoy some craziness. You know how we do it here, man. I always love adding humor and competitiveness into my videos. So anyways, can't wait to hear your thoughts on the new modes. and I'll reply to every single one of you. I'll do my best. All right, it's Ricky J. Much love to you and yours. I'm out of here.